Let's cross live to our correspondent, Bernard Akede, who is on the ground in Osun. Before we will be talking as well to Wasiu Adebi, a civil society leader, for our wider perspective on developments there. Bernard, good to see you. Let's start with INEC. What have you seen and heard thus far? And what can you tell us about the umpire's readiness for Election Day?
Thank you, Felicity, and good evening. Well, there are notable changes in and around INEC premises as at this morning and in certain parts of the state. To start with, we could notice that there were a heightened number of security operatives around INEC. And by security operatives now, I'm talking visible army officers, soldiers around there, and of course, officers of the DSS equally around there. And I did mention earlier today that information we got from that quarters was that there now is limited access to INEC office at the moment. As a matter of fact, even INEC staff who are from level 9 and below will not be granted access to the premises. Just level 9 and above, and certain specific persons will be granted access, to that particular region of the state. And then we equally got to speak with the REC today, and she talked about the readiness of INEC. She mentioned areas like transportation, mobilization of electoral materials. She equally talked about training of ad hoc staff, which she said was completed yesterday, I do believe. And she talked about not just the deployment of staff, there also will be deployment of set technical staff to help support the beavers machine should they go faulty, God forbid, according to her, and that there will equally be more beavers machines readily prepared on standby should they have any issues. So from where we stand and from what we've said and what we've heard rather and seen, like you asked, INEC seems to be ready for this election. We just hope that the words that we heard today will eventually, translate into tangible substance come 15th of August.
We reported just moments ago the parties are coming to the last days of campaign. You've seen quite a number, and today was that of the ADC. What stood out for you, and what was your major takeaway?
But the crowd that we saw at the ADC rally today was unprecedented. As a matter of fact, one of the party leaders, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who is flying the party's flag at the presidential level, did say that the crowd was quite impressive. We saw big wigs like Atiku Abubakar himself. We equally saw Rauf Aregbesola, who seemed to pull quite some followership around the ADC and the people in Osogbo today. There equally, of course, was Najim Salam, the party's gubernatorial candidate here. And then, of course, the very popular Senator Dino Melaye was equally there. And then David Mark. These are some of the notable names and faces that we got to see. But I think the takeaway, of course, is the fact that they were able to pull off that kind of crowd in Osogbo today. It just goes to show that we cannot rule out anybody just yet in this particular party. So those who were saying, I think including myself, who did think that it was just a two-horse race, may be proven wrong in the days to come. But again, as we wind down to the final day, August 15th, there seems to be a lot of activities going on, and it will continue this way until eventually the parties have to stop their campaigns, and just prepare for the ballots itself.
All right, Bernard, before we let you go, I want to slide back a bit to your earlier comment on security. We know that there is quite a number of presence in that area, both protecting INEC and other persons. Is the are the presence of these security operatives doing enough to convince the people that the election will be violence-free? Is it having the right impressed on the people, or it's the opposite?
Well, Felicity, I think that that's exactly what this heightened security presence is expected to do. To give confidence back to the people that there will be safety and security around this election period. Before, during, and after. And that's because in the early days when we first arrived, the few people we spoke to did lay concerns about security, and you also did mention the march by women, still concerning security. Again, I would say that there is hope that, you know, the heightened security presence would make people feel safe and then let them come out. But again, as they say, hope is not a strategy. There has to be physical action to let the people know and see and then believe that they are safe and secure, and that then will translate into them coming out to cast their votes. During the rally today, the governorship candidate of the ADC did reiterate to the followers that you would see security operatives on ground. Many of them are being deployed to the state. Do not be alarmed. They are here to help us and not to fight us. And I think that basically is the message that even the security operatives themselves are passing out. So I may not be answering your question directly by saying whether or not the presence of the security operatives will make the people feel more secure, but I'll say that the hope is that their presence will actually make the people secure.
Bernard, as always, thank you very much for your robust coverage.